Hey guys, so I want to thank you again for doing this for me because otherwise I'd be dead. I'd started with 3 monologues, one by Jaja, one by Maxine, and one by Nui. And then I go into my analysis. So, I guess I'll just get it done. Okay. What else could I do? My father was ruthless. A father who permanently disfigures his children is no father at all. I've already told you many of the things he did to me. Scalding my feet, beating me, stunting the growth in my hand. But there are so many other things I haven't told anyone. Things even more cruel. Now that he's dead, I suppose I can say all I want and it won't matter. I'll tell you the worst thing he did to me. It was my birthday. It was supposed to be a happy day for me, and it did start out that way. By the end of the day, I wanted to be dead. I was turning 10, and this was to be a special year for me. I was to get a spectacular gift from my father at dinner. However, I was an impatient child and decided that I would take a peek at my gift. I knew where it was hidden, in Papa's room, in a black mahogany box on his desk. When he was taking his afternoon siesta on the couch in the living room, I snuck into his room and took a peek into the box. Inside sat the most beautiful carving knife I had ever seen. The curved handle was heavy and fit perfectly into the space between my thumb and first finger as I cradled it. It was finished in pearl with gold foiled designs of the stars swirling over it. The steel blade glinted in the sunlight that slanted in from the windows. I didn't notice anything around me until I heard the heavy, wheezy breathing of my father. I dropped the knife as if it had turned into a droplet of flaming lava and flashed around to face my father. His eyes were a blazing inferno. He kept his gaze steady on me as he slowly bent down to pick up the knife. He looked at it intently for a moment, as if considering something, then looked back at me. A tear slid down his cheek as he moved slowly towards me, tensely holding the knife, aiming it straight at me. Pain seethed through me as the knife contacted my flesh, and the blood poured out, staining the cream floor. I ended up in the hospital with a ruptured lung and 2 broken ribs. It took months before I could breathe again normally. I have a 6-inch scar on my chest. I vowed that day that when I was old enough, I would get my revenge. I have, and now I'm going to start a new life and erase all memory of him from my brain. Forever. Forever he was hailed by the people for his deeds in saving the woman, said my mother, finishing her story. And that is why men are superior. That is why you are worthless. You'll become nothing in your life. Whatever you do, you won't succeed at it. Daughters aren't worth anything. Every day, I wish you had been a boy. This oral abuse from her was typical. Day in, day out, telling me how worthless I was. I hated it. Life seemed pointless for me. I would have no opportunities because my parents thought me worthless. The only reason I wouldn't be able to do anything with my life was because they wouldn't give me the opportunity. They told me that I would be nothing more than a servant to men. That was my place in life, they said. Outwardly, I acquiesced to the abuse, but inwardly I writhed in anger. I had no identity in my family, just the worthless slave girl that would turn into the worthless slave woman. Well, I'd show them. I'd leave, run off without their knowledge if I had to, and make something of myself. Find out my true place in this world. I'd throw off everything Chinese and adopt American traditions completely. I'd raise my own family, free of the folkloric tales my mother told me, which I could make no sense of. I'd tell my children every day that they were worth the world to me. I'd forget my family entirely. That would be utter bliss. In the church, I found utter bliss. I found a peace that I had never felt before. All the anger and bitterness I held towards my father melted away in the presence of God. My soul basked in the warmth of his light. I attempted to purge my mind